Brett Perigo, tonight's second place finisher. Plenty of fans here, Brett, and a solid second place finish.
Yeah, I got to shout out the Turn 2 Terror Boys over there. They're all a bunch of good guys to hang out with and talk to. I really like them.
How are you doing tonight, man?
Hey, I'm talking here. You know who you're talking to? Macho Man! I'm on my way to Monday Night Raw.
The second one.
Your choice.
It's a trap.
I feel like it is. I feel like he's setting up fights in the front stretch is what he's trying to do.
Speedway. We've got Devin Gordon with us.
At Keen Motorsports Shop here with Kyle Keen.
Sitting here with Sean Keen. We're going to talk a little bit about racing history.
Yep.
It is Monday, August 25th, 2025. What's going on? I am Jimmy here with Jay-Z. We are the Turn 2 Terribles. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in tonight. See you guys in the chat. EJ, Santos, Marie, Matt, Leif, Dave, Scott Smeltzer, what's going on? EJ says, let's go Sheldon Hansfield. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We're also going to talk about all the local racing that happened this past weekend and kind of do a 2-week preview here since next week's Labor Day. It's the Labor Day Classic. We won't have a show next Monday. So we kind of are going to do a whole 2-week preview, go right through the Tuscarora 50. We'll go over points here locally. We'll go over all the results. Check out the schedule for High Limit, World of Outlaws, all that. So, jam-packed show tonight. Don't mind us as well. We're going to be trying to do a fantasy football draft here at the same time. We're multitaskers here. We're going to try. So, a lot going on. Plus, we have High Limit on tonight. They're out in Oregon. That comes on at 9 o'clock. So, a lot to talk about, a lot going on. As always, put your comments, put your hot takes, put your questions, put your picks. We're going to be asking for your Tusky picks later. Put all that stuff in the chat as we go through. You guys, we want you guys to be part of the conversation. And if you're listening to this day after, we appreciate you guys as well, as always. So, Jay-Z, how you doing tonight?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. Do you think we can keep this under an hour? I mean,
Maybe.
we're going to have 30 minutes till the fantasy draft, and then 30 more minutes High Limit starts, and nobody's going to want to watch us.
Yeah.
So we'll just keep it rolling tonight. If it's a little shorter than usual for everybody, apologies, but really we don't. So you'll deal with it. We got a lot of racing coming up to finish out the season. A lot of things that we do to finish out the year. We'll have our seasonal grades. We're going to have a lot of stuff for National Open. We're going to jam-pack Port Royal weekends coming up. All kinds of things. So if tonight's a little bit shorter, blame us. We're okay with it.
Yeah, it's all right. And like I said, we're going to be previewing Tusky 50, but that doesn't mean we're going to try to get some content out there during Tusky 50 week. I know I'll be camped there for the whole week and everything, and we'll be at the races, so we'll try to get some content out there for you guys. Probably see you guys at the track as well. So yeah, let's dive right into this past weekend of racing, and we're going to start at Williams Grove for the Jack Gunn Memorial, where Danny Dietrich took down the win over Chase Dietz, Anthony Macri, Cam Smith, Troy Wagaman Jr., Lance Deweese, Brock Zierfoss, Ashton Torgerson, Cody Hartlob, and Matt Campbell. Your top 10 heat race winners was Danny Dietrich, Cam Smith, Ashton Torgerson. Your quick time was Anthony Macri. Your B-main winner was Matt Campbell. And your hard charger going 22nd to 12th was Logan Rumsey. This one started off pretty wild. Huge wreck on the front stretch. We had an open red before we even completed a lap. It was a marathon, but it ended up being a pretty decent race. Danny Dietrich, though, was the class of the field, did what he needed to do out front, was fast. He was very hard to catch, and brings home a good $8,000 payday.
Yeah, this one, I thought back about this a little bit today, kind of thinking about the show tonight and what I wanted to say about this race. And man, I don't blame any of these fast teams for wanting time trial shows, but they haven't put on good racing lately. Like, I don't blame them for wanting it. I wouldn't blame Danny and Chase and Macri and Troy and Lance and Brock and Ashton and Cam. I don't blame any. Cody Hartlob, Kyle Moody. I had this conversation with actually Cody this weekend. I think I don't blame them at all for wanting time trial shows, because if I had a race car, I'd want to try to start up front as much as possible. I get it. But this was a snoozer, and the track wasn't locked down.
The
track wasn't around the bottom. I just didn't. It wasn't a great show, right? Entertainment wise, and Danny's not going to apologize for that. Clearly, right? Nobody else would have that won a race either. So I'm not taking anything away from any of these guys, or like they didn't put on a show. It was still like, here's where I'm at with this. I didn't get that like holy shit factor when we were done, and that's okay. But or I don't love that, is what I should say. But I will say this. As I thought back and watched this race, this was anything but easy. Danny talked in a couple interviews that it kind of seemed easy to him. Like, hey, I just had to take it easy, had to hit my marks, had to do my thing. But like,
it wasn't easy.
It didn't look like it was easy by any means. Like, it wasn't locked down, hammer down, just wide open all the way around. They were doing a slider line in 3 and 4 and getting up to the cushion. And there was some like driving they had to do for sure. But like, it took a lot of skill. Danny messes up. Chase wasn't far behind at any point. Like, he was there. And Macri, he kind of did his thing and came on late. And Troy was up to third at one point, I think, actually, at one point there. So, it moved a little bit, and the track did change a little bit throughout. Danny talked about having to pick different lines and know where to be. And I kind of thought back about that, like, man, as a leader, with a track that didn't seem like it was one lane was the lane, and you had to do different things. I hate to use that word technical, but like, man, Danny's smart, and we know.
Yeah.
And like, he knew where to be, when to be there, and did his job here to take home the win. And but man, I'm telling you, these time trial shows, the best of the best, it rises to the top. They had their chance to start up there, and they did their jobs. But it really didn't have that wow factor that we've seen at Williams Grove a little bit this year.
There was a couple decent battles. Lance and Brock, he's had to pass a lot of cars here lately. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, he passes 9 here. Him and Lance were sliding each other every couple corners. But other than that, I mean, Troy and Cam a little bit, and Dietz and Macri kind of closed in a little bit on Danny. But you're right. I mean, it wasn't crazy action-packed. Back of the field, sure, there's movers and shakers. But once that big yellow happened, or the big red, I should say, I didn't see what happened. To be honest, I was in the backstretch in the infield, and I couldn't see anything. But it sounds like, Chad Trout like they kind of just got together with Freddie, and it just caused a big pileup right on the start on the front stretch. And it was, you posted some pictures. I knew it was bad because I didn't see any cars coming out of turn 2. I heard the red, and then they sent every single safety vehicle was going to the front stretch. I know you don't really see that. Maybe 1, maybe 2. It was immediate. Every single piece of equipment every staff member that they had was going to the front stretch because it's like 6 cars and a couple of 3 of them turned upside down.
Yeah, it was big. I didn't really see it. I saw the very end where I saw like part of a car in the air. Didn't know who it was. Didn't know how many cars were in it. But as I walked down the front stretch to look at it, I'm like, holy shit, there's a pile up here. And it started around that 6th, 7th starting spot, and then cars piled in after. But Freddie Ramers, he was stuck upside down, and his left rear was almost in Carkland's cockpit as they sat there. Like Carkland was upright and Freddie was upside down, and it was just a mess. And it took him a while to get everything. Everybody seemed to be okay. It sounded like from the what people were saying that TJ Stutz took a big ride during this one, hopped a wheel, flew in over the top. The car was destroyed. Glad everybody was okay, but yeah, I mean, it knocked out some heavy hitters there. I think Carkland was able to continue. Freddie did not. TJ didn't. And started up near there. So
Ryan Smith was done. That 69.
Yeah, Ryan Smith was done right away there. So it definitely sucks. You hate to see that, but that's a bad spot. The end of the front stretch there, cars have nowhere to go. If something happens, you have nowhere to go. You're full speed going down in there. It's narrow. Someone on one of the pictures, the picture I took, and someone said, "Man, it looks like that's the pit lane." It looked that narrow from the picture I took. It looks that narrow, and like honestly, right before it opens up into one, it's pretty damn narrow for a racetrack, and they don't use a lot of it.
Right.
It's maybe maybe 2 car widths wide the entire night. There's not a lot of like extra running room there, so not a great one. EJ, do you kind of has a question there? Do you prefer handicap shows or time trial, honestly, and why? I want a good show. That's it. And I don't mind time trial shows if these good guys start up front, but the track is to a point where we get into lap traffic and they all come back together and we have a race.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that at Lincoln on Saturday. We'll get to. We had some passing. This one got strung out, and everybody was running like decent times where Danny never really had slowed down a ton to let everybody come back to him, and then we created a race out of it. Williams Grove has this happen at times. I don't know what the secret sauce is. I've seen great time trial shows. Yeah, I know it's possible, but this year, the handicap shows have been the entertaining shows. I hate to say that. I know teams don't love it, but they have been. Fact of the matter is they have been. And maybe the best cars of the best of Central PA, they're only going to run time trials. They're going to start up front, and they're there to stink up the show. They're there to make it not entertaining. They're there to go win it and lead every lap. I don't blame them. But as a fan, for the entertainment value, this year it's been the opposite. It's been handicap.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I said this last week. It was like last year when we're saying, "Hey, we need more time trial shows." You know what I mean? And now I think we have a good balance. I think this is the time of year when you're starting to get into your biggest shows is when you want the time trial shows. You want our guys ready to go. You know what I mean? You want them, big money at the end of the season. You want them well versed in time trials. You want them ready to go when national competition comes in, whether that's at Williams Grove, whether that's at Lincoln, whether that's at Port. That's what you want. But yeah, I think in the dead of summer, that's when you see some really cool racing with the handicap format. You know what I mean? I like the balance personally. Maybe a couple more handicap shows and 1 or 2 less time, but I'm not going to be picky and choosy here. They're not all going to be bangers all the time. That's just what it is. You're going to have to come to terms with that as a race fan. There's so many races every year. You could go to 50, 60 races here in PA. They're not always going to be bangers. So it's just kind of how it goes. You know what I mean? And like you said, it's these guys' job to stink up the field. We want these guys to be at top, when it comes to World of Outlaw and national competition coming in, you want these guys at top form. You want them to know what they're doing going into time trials and have that little bit of an edge. So I get it. You know what I mean?
I get both sides of it. I do like the time trial shows when time trials are worthy of the show or the show's worthy of time trials.
Yes.
Just to have time trials on a night that's just because I'm not in love with it. There's lots of other formats that can be used that are, you can go earn it kind of thing. This one could be edgy for me. It was $8,000.
Yeah.
I could make the case that $10,000 or more time trials, there is that mix of, timed hot laps. I'm kind of over this, like all the hot laps, 2 cars at a time trials, half a mile, shit just takes forever. And this was another night that it took forever. And shit happens, but we are adding extra sessions to the night and multiple classes. We didn't even have heat races for the other two divisions, and it still took all damn night to get a race in.
Yeah.
It is
drug on.
frustrating.
So I think I called it. I'm like, like 10:08 or something like that. It was going to be when we took the green, and we did take the green and went immediately red. And it wasn't until after 10:30 until we took the green again. And I mean, hey, that's what happens when you have a huge pile up. But it was late. It was a late night. I actually decided to go to Williams Grove. It was like kind of a late decision. I went there, and it was kind of like, man, I have a haul back. I should have brought the camper, but
Same. I feel that some nights leaving, and I'm not far away. I don't have a camper either, but I'm like, damn, I don't want to do this drive.
But I'm between the handicap time trial debate, I wouldn't mind to see more group time trial shows, something with some inverts and stuff like that, where you can kind of get a balance of both, like try some different things. But I don't think it necessarily means we need to. I'm with you. I don't think everything that's a time trial show needs to be a single car time trial show. I think we could do a little more group time trials or something different like that. But either way, I'm happy to see race cars on the track regardless. Let's get to some comments here. Trying to go back here. Great weekend for Cam Smith. We're going to talk about that. What's going on, Randy? Good evening. Samuel, what's going on? Good to see you guys tuning in. What's going on, Nate? Nasty Nate, what's going on? See James in the chat too. Running the top of the track would have helped with another lane, and I didn't see no wheel packing in between races to move the berm up, says James. Magby, there was a little bit, but they ran the winged feature first, sportsman feature, then the 410s, then they did the wingless. So I think maybe they thought maybe running the winged one, which made sense. I think the format that they did for this night was good. Timed hot laps for the sportsmen, no heats. I thought that was perfect. It just didn't go, timing wise, it didn't go the way that they planned, as quick as, but that's what happens sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, there was transponder issues with a couple things with the system itself. It took a while. We had cars not start. We had a car break. It was just a perfect storm of some things you can't control. Then there was things I hope that was, if it was in their control, they can improve on and continue to keep this shit moving. Nate, see Nate's comment there, get the reps or no, Nate, why be good if you're going to be penalized for it? That one. I'm with you here, Nate. I get this. See it right above his that comment there. So I go back and forth on this a little bit, right? Because we're not the Outlaws. We're not the World of Outlaws. We don't time trial. You start on the pole if you're quick time. This isn't what we do. This is sports entertainment. We're here to entertain the fans. If I'm a race team, I agree with you, Nate. But guess what? I'm a fan, and I want to see a good race and a good show. I know that we're not always going to get it no matter the format. There can be a bad one no matter what here and there, and I get it if you're a team like, hey, I just went out and earned it. Now I got to go start 6th, 8th, 4th, blah, blah, blah. Like I get that. Or, hey, I'm in the points lead, so I'm handicapped in my heat and in my feature. At the end of the day, we're here to sell tickets and put asses into seats. If it's better for it and we're better for it that way, then that's what should be happening more often, right? Like I think on the big time trial shows and the Outlaws are in town and high limits in town, we're going to get asses into seats no matter the format.
Right.
It's these weekly deals that are semi-show, semi-whatever. It's not working. The ticket sales show it. So, if is it a format thing where we need to entice more passing? And here's what's happened. We're losing to teams. They're traveling more. They're saying F handicapping. I'm not going to do that shit no more. And they leave. And guess what? Those big names do bring people to the stands.
Yep.
And if we don't have them, then what? So it's a double-edged sword here, right? Teams can say F you and I'll just go where I want. I got the funds. I'll go to run anywhere. But then we don't have the fans of those teams aren't just going to show up to Lincoln or Williams Grove because they like the track more than the drivers. It's a tough. I don't know if there's a perfect solution for it, but keep putting on good shows, figuring out how to get, no matter who the drivers that show up, keep trying to put on the best shows possible based on your format, your speed of your show, your promoting, your XYZ, all the other things, and fans will show up. So, man, I know we talk about this kind of stuff a lot, but like what I know I saw I talked to two. We're gonna get to Lincoln, and Danny crashed and didn't come out. Right, car was junk.
Yeah.
Ended up being, but I talked to two different people that I know well that are Danny fans. Like, I came tonight because Danny was here. This sucks. Now what? I get that. That is the best part of racing, but he isn't showing up for handicap shows anymore, right? He's going to go time trialing. He's going to travel. Might show up to one. That's where we're at this week. That's what we picked. But like, or maybe it's a draw versus a handicap. Maybe I'll just random draw. I'd rather take a random draw into my hands versus showing up and starting last because I haven't been racing here.
Right.
But where's the balance? We got to find that balance somewhere. So I know I'm getting a little bit off topic and ranty here on this, but like, we have a problem with ticket sales and asses and seats in Central PA. All of a sudden, this past Friday, I think Friday and Saturday, the attendance was not bad.
Yeah, I was
Why?
I was
Why do you
surprised.
think that is?
It was a nice weekend for one.
Well, it was a nice weekend. We had $8,000 and 7,300 to win. We've had those weekends. Why this weekend?
You had one track to choose from each night.
You had one. Okay, possible. But we've had that also. Hasn't been great. Lincoln's had that a couple times. Didn't have it. I'm really saying Chase Dietz, Anthony Macri.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Our guys.
That's what I mean. Like,
have the fan bases were also there.
It's one track for all of our guys to go to, was what I meant. I didn't necessarily mean choosing one track over another.
I'm with you.
But
so
yeah,
I
was surprised when I first got there on Friday. I'm like, man, it kind of seems empty. And then, like typical Williams Grove fashion, after hot laps or so, the mass exodus over the bridge and everything starts to fill in. You know what I mean? So that's usually what happens at Williams Grove. Friday nights are tough. You know what I mean? You get there, people are still working. And that's what puts Williams Grove, I think, in a bind sometimes. With timing and everything. Let's get to a couple more comments here. Mandy says the format would have been fine if there hadn't been so many issues. Very true. Lance's tire, tire flew off during his time trial lap. I don't know how he didn't go over, but that thing flew off going into turn 3, full bore. Samuel Miller's car not starting, the transponder issues, guys having to go and make multiple times. Of course, the open red. I agree on all that. Marie says, I won't head to a track if it's a 40% chance, and these tracks don't. That's why you see so many cancellations early, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Let's get to Lincoln. Let's keep this moving. Let's go to Lincoln here, where, again, $7,300 to win, Kramer Klash. Cam Smith with the win over Anthony Macri, Tyler Ross, Troy Wagaman, Chase Dietz, Ashton Torgerson, Cody Hartlab, Preston Latimus, Billy Dietrich, Kyle Moody. Your top 10 heat race winners were Torgerson, Latimus, Macri, and Ross. Your quick time was Chase Dietz. Your B-main winner was Dominic Malaire, and your hard charger going from 19th to 11th was Lucas Wolf. Cam Smith dominated this race. He looked really good at Williams Grove on Friday night. We've been seeing some, a little bit more him running up front, a little more consistency out of him. But, man, did he show a lot of speed this weekend. He capped it off with a nice win here at Lincoln.
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, my going off, too.
Yeah, and it's okay. So this was awesome, by the way. Time trials. Listen, time trials on the pole, one from the pole. But this was still really good.
Yeah.
We had lap traffic. We had Anthony, at one point, Torgerson slid Cam for the lead. We had Macri, Ross, Chase. There were battles, hard battles through lap traffic around each other. So a guy can win from the pole and we can still have a good show. It was slick. It was slick to a curb. Apparently there were, we ended up a little bit of rubber on the bottom of 1 and 2 at the end, but this was still a good race. And the highlights tell you that. A little bit of drama, right? We had Freddie ended up crashed. People love the slick. Some of these drivers like the slick. Some of the guys said, I heard somebody saying they wished, found the water truck, this or that. At the end of the day, this was still good. This was a good race to watch.
Yeah, I watched it. on Flow. Thank you for putting it on Flow, and I could actually follow this one. Awesome race. I was very entertained. Cam Smith just did everything he needed to do through lap traffic as he got any competition, that came at him. Anthony Macri at the end, a lot of people kept pouring in the chats and stuff like right after the race. It's like, oh, I see Cam Smith beat Anthony Macri. Macri really wasn't a factor until like maybe the last 3 laps or so. He had to really claw his way up to front, and by then Cam was pretty much in control. Macri got close, don't get me wrong, but this was Cam Smith's to lose the entire way. A little drama between Chase Dietz and Freddie Raymer coming out of turn 4. Got together a little bit. Freddie got the tough end of that one. Pretty interesting. Other than that, there wasn't really anything huge like wreck-wise or anything, luckily, on this one. It was just it was a very good race, though. I got to say that. And makes me excited here for the rest of Lincoln here for the rest of the season for sure. With some other time trial shows, and you got the Outlaws coming in later.
Yeah, for sure. They have a pretty big weekend coming up, and then I think they're doing the Final 50 again this year. They're gonna have an Outlaw show coming, so still some good racing left at Lincoln. And I'm telling you, I would talk to people this weekend. If you look across this entire season, Lincoln has had the best racing of our big 4 tracks consistently all year. Because I've been to them, but even the ones I wasn't at, they've been good. But the ones I've sat and I've watched all the other places too. Consistently, Lincoln week after week is putting on good shows. So even the heat races were good again. So there was it was I was entertained yet again. Billy Dietrich, really good, right?
Top 10. He looked really good.
He's been good. He's been really, really good lately.
Was it who was he? What heat was it? It was him and 2 other. It was him in the top 3, and they were battling hard for the win. Pretty much the entire way. I can't remember who else he was battling, but it was that he was right there. Running in second.
Might have been Preston. Was it Preston?
I believe so. It might have been, but there's a 3rd car there, and I can't remember who. I guess I'll take. I don't know who to take here. I'll take Malik
did it
Neighbors.
start?
Yeah, it's my pick. I don't know who to take.
Well, he said it was messed up. I didn't know we were going. Okay.
How do I draft? How do I draft?
Go to players.
Yeah, I see it. Where's the draft button? Come on, man.
Q draft order.
Oh, there it is. I had to switch it. I guess I'll take Derrick Henry. That's not what I want to take, but whatever.
Okay, I think it probably. Oh yeah, I see. There
yeah,
it is.
I had to readjust. The button was being hidden by the Q. You took Malik Neighbors. That's what I want.
Okay, I'm done.
Oh, you took my other guy too, you son of a bitch.
Oh, you're back up. Yeah. So, this was
I'm taking a homer pick, whatever.
And the other part that I liked about this race was it was sort of one lane-ish. I mean, it wasn't, but it was. But guys really had to fight for their spots. If you watch back on the highlights of the thing, there were some short sliders. There was a lot of things going on. Aggressive driving, and I know Santos is having a conversation here. That was just a product of hard racing. Chase didn't give him a lot of options, and that's part of the deal. I certainly have seen worse with actual contact, and people were like, kind of crashing people. But if you watch this back, I mean, there's barely any contact. Chase just didn't really give Freddie a whole lot of options, and that's part of hard racing when you're battling inside the top 5 and going for a win. So, to me, no harm, no foul. I've certainly seen worse actual, like, hey, I made a mistake and wrecked a guy. This wasn't that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And it was cool watching it on Flow because I thought they were up so close to the wall coming out of 4. From TV especially, it really looked like there's a few times where some guys were probably getting in the wall, if not, were damn near close. But yeah, great race here from Lincoln. Congratulations, Cam Smith. Great weekend for him. First and a fourth, right? Yeah, first and fourth for the weekend. Rolling in strong here towards the end of the season. Real quick, over at Port Royal, you had the Lucas Oil late models where Ricky Thornton Jr. took both wins, both Friday and Saturday. Saturday night was also watching this one. This one was a lot of fun between him and Chris Madden. There was a little drama, and speaking of contact, Ricky Thornton got his way up to the lead from sixth. There was a restart. Chris Madden led this one early, slid him into 1 and 2 on one restart, left him a lane. He left Ricky Thornton a lane. Another restart a few laps later. This time he didn't leave him a lane. He slid all the way up, parked it right on Ricky's nose. Ricky not only lost first, but then he went back to third. Devin Moran got around him, and then Ricky was a man possessed. You think like guys like Anthony Macri and Logan Wagner are fun to watch running the wall at Port Royal? There were sparks coming off of Ricky Thornton's car when he was entering one almost every time. It was so fun to watch him just pin it up there, and he drove pissed off after the whole Chris Madden thing, but he ended up getting around him no problem and drove away. He was the fastest car all weekend. Looked like a really good crowd there. Really, really good show. I was entertained. Shout out Lucas Oil. Shout out Port Royal there. Let's take a look at 410 points here. Williams Grove, Troy Walkerman now has a 245-point lead over Freddie Raymer and 370 points over Lance DeWeese in third. Then it's Cam Smith, TJ Stutz, Brock Zierfoss, Chad Trout, Anthony Macri, Danny Dietrich, and Cody Hartlob, your top 10. And then at Lincoln, we have a new leader. Troy Walkerman regains the lead over Freddie Raymer. 2 weeks ago was Troy kind of having some shit luck. Let Freddie and Freddie getting the win. Let him get the points lead back. Now it's opposite. That's all it takes. Now Troy's up ahead 80 points, and then it's 570 points back to Cam Smith, and then 850 points back to Matt Campbell and Tyler Ross. Just to go show how good those two guys have been, because Cam Smith, Matt Campbell, Tyler Ross, Aaron Bollinger have been good there all season long. You know, they're constantly up in the top 10, but Troy and Freddie have been ridiculously consistent. And then Port Royal, obviously no change. Justin Whittle is still point leader over Logan Wagner, who went and got a win at Lernerville on Friday. So one track wonder going to getting it done at another track. He's very good at Lernerville. It was pretty cool to see him go out there. We had a couple of guys. Mike Walter finished second there.
Again.
Yeah, again. And then Ryan Newton also went out there. I think he got a top 10. Ryan Smith went out there. He got a top 10. So good to see some of our guys go out west when Port Royal was dark here and have a good night there. Congratulations to Logan. A couple comments here. RTJ ripping the lip and carrying the left front. Heart emojis here. Says Matt, Steph, that race was amazing. I know they were there. Late models always hit the walls. Samuel says, I was scared watching RTJ. I swore he was going to wreck at every corner. Awesome performance by him. Absolutely. Mandy says, I was early talking to this guy at Williams Grove Friday night about Cam in the 475 car. Guy was super impressed by Cam despite not being super familiar with him. I told him Cam's due for another big win. Not even 24 hours later, he gets to win at Lincoln in the Kramer Klash. Yeah, I mean, Chris Frank went out to Lernerville too, I believe. Thank you, Dave. Yeah, he has wins at like 4 to 5 tracks at least. I know, but that's the joke. I think Logan in his social post even made a joke on that. I got a draft here. Okay. So, taking a look at this weekend now, let's talk about this. What was supposed to happen on Sunday is now happening Wednesday at Baps Motor Speedway, 410s. It was supposed to be 410s and 305s. On Thursday, they made the call to move this to Wednesday, which has a lot of people scratching heads. It didn't rain terribly, but, you know, I know for me, I know some people were asking, questions. I know for me, I had a lot of rain here. It looked like it missed south, so you guys got lucky down there, and unfortunate for BAPS. But to move it to Wednesday was an interesting move. They did drop the 305s, obviously, because it's it's a midweek show and everything. I think they were going to have a lot of 305s there. Yeah, I don't know. So I am excited to watch this on Wednesday. Hopefully they still get a decent car count and a decent fan count for a Wednesday night. So yeah, that'll happen on Wednesday. Didn't rain from 10 a.m. on. Yeah, I mean, most of the afternoon for me was dry, but it downpoured probably like 10 o'clock or so, 9, 10 o'clock here for a good chunk of the night, maybe for like 2 hours or so. We got hit with some pretty good storms up my way. Like I said, that's not BAPS, but just saying, and it's not like it didn't rain, but it didn't rain at BAPS, unfortunately, so it makes this look worse.
Yeah, I hate this. I wish I was there because I can't go Wednesday. So it'd be one of the first BAPS 410 races I've missed in a few years. Pretty disappointed just with life, schedules, kids, unable to make this one. So I'm not far from there. And, it's a shame that it was such a beautiful night that we didn't have a race that we probably we could have had. So definitely disappointing, but looking forward to what's coming up. There's plenty of racing coming up, that's for sure. I won't be short on racing. That not going Wednesday breaks my heart a little bit because it's so close to home and not able to make it. But at the same time, plenty of racing left.
Nate says they're still running the race. Don't like to cancel it altogether. BAPS has the best 410 racing every time they run there, and I agree. And if you can't make it on a Wednesday night, they will still have this on SprintCarUnlimited.tv. Definitely tune into that. Get it if you can't make it to the track, because it will be a good, nice midweek. It'll be a good race. It'll be entertaining whether you can make it or not. Then on Friday, we have the John and Pee Wee Zamitis tribute race at Williams Grove. You have 410s. Also, USAC East Coast, along with fireworks. $8,000 again up for grabs. You also have EMMR, pre-race show. A lot going on here that Friday at Williams Grove. And then Lincoln has the Labor Day duels, with the first one being the Kevin Gobrecht Memorial. And then on Saturday, and then on Sunday will be, and that's 410s alone on Saturday. And then on Sunday, 410s and 358 Summer Series race, which is a makeup from May 3rd. Both races, $10,000 to win each.
I thought Saturday had 305s.
Well, maybe it does, but it doesn't say it here.
It does.
It
305s.
My bad. 305s on Saturday, 358s on Sunday. And it didn't say it. That says it down below. I missed that up down at the bottom there.
Yeah, because it's your Summer Series at the top of that second 358 Summer Series makeup. So it didn't have that where it's laid out there. So yeah.
So my bad. 305s making a rare appearance at Lincoln on Saturday. So each race for the 410s, $10,000 to win, and should be. I would imagine you're going to see pretty much the same field that you saw at Lincoln this past weekend. You know what I mean? I don't think there's going to be too many. Probably Brock Zierfoss that'll go to Port on Saturday. But other than that,
I mean, I would think. I don't know. I who knows? Like, where does Lucas go?
Yeah.
What's Saturday? How much to win on Saturday?
It's not
because that's
it's
the Gobrecht.
I mean, on no, they're both $10,000 to win each.
They're both 10
Saturday and Sunday.
So think about this though.
And
if Port Royal's running against them on Saturday, people could still choose Port if they don't like, quote unquote, like Lincoln. $10,000 don't matter. We've seen this before. The Steve Smith race is a perfect example.
Yeah, and I guess it'll probably depend on weather a little bit too. Even though right now it looks like really great weather all weekend. Maybe some rain like late Saturday into Sunday. But other than that, to me, it looked, at least when I looked earlier, it looked pretty good. So, I mean, yeah, we'll see. But you'll see your heavy hitters, I think. You'll see Danny, you'll see Dietz. You'll see Macri. You'll see those guys at Lincoln. Time trial show, $10,000 to win. They're not going to miss that. I wouldn't doubt if you saw maybe, I don't know what kind of outsiders, but this is about the time of year. Obviously, Brian Brown's not coming in because of his injury, but you start to see a couple guys start rolling in this time of year, starting Labor Day weekend, and then getting ready for Tusky. But then they'll run Williams Grove or Lincoln or whatever. You know what I mean? So you might see some surprises there. Some good paying races, 4-day race weekend here in PA. So maybe you'll see some travelers come in.
Yeah, I think it's that time of the year too where you start to see not just travelers, but if maybe in the background there's some drivers, putting first time on the racetrack or for certain divisions, maybe they've been building up a program. This is the weekend.
That's
This is
true.
that time of the year where you start to see a little bit of that. Maybe they were testing, and you see debuts in new divisions, things like that. So you never know. Um, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully this works out for Lincoln. This has not been, I think last year wasn't super great for car counts. If I recall one of the 2 days, I don't remember which one, but hoping it does because they've been pretty good. So don't have a lot of back-to-back nights at Lincoln. This is one of their
No,
few
it's a 2-day show.
back-to-backs
Yeah.
all year. So pretty cool. Excited to see how it goes.
Same here. I remember. I think it was 2 years ago when it was Selinsgrove and them going against each other, and I think Selinsgrove brought in a couple more cars than Lincoln, but that was the first time Lincoln did it that year. This is starting to build up a little bit more into their weekend here. And then Port Royal, fair opener. It is Fair Week, ladies and gentlemen, coming up. One of my favorite weeks of the year. I'm so jacked up. I can't wait for some turkey dinners. Can't wait for some great racing. I can't wait for some just fair food and just the overall vibe of Fair Week. I can't wait. Fair Week opener on Saturday. The Butch Renninger Memorial for the super late models. Time trial, $7,300 to win. Plus limited late models, which will do group time trials, and 410 sprints, a regular show for them. Should be, it's also Arch Night there. So all Fair Week camping is sold out. So if you did not jump on camping at Port Royal, you're going to have to find somewhere else. And it's a lot of the campgrounds and everything there are filling up as well. So, but that'll happen on Saturday. And then, of course, next Monday, one of my favorite races of the year, midday show, Labor Day Classic, the 74th annual. 74 years they've been doing this. 410 sprint cars, time trials. This one's $7,400 to win. It's $630, I think, to start. $630 to start. Plus you had the 4 cylinders. Plus you have an EMMR exhibition, so you have some old cars on the track. This is a really cool one because $10 for the infield, $15 for the grandstand. It's nice fan appreciation day. Cheap for purse of this size and probably the car count that you'll get. You can't beat this type of price, especially if you want to go in the infield and save $5. You know what I mean? Midday show. I think racing starts at 1. I think hot laps are at noon. Yeah, hot laps at noon. Racing starts at 1. They'll do time trials. You're going to see a full 410 show here on Labor Day, so I'm pretty jacked up for that.
Yeah, this is you're up in a couple picks here, so I'll talk about this race, and this is one of my favorites of the whole year. I'm a sucker for a daytime race in the summer. We get to this time of the year, and it's dark by the time we get to heat races for the most part. So as a photographer, I'm all about some daytime and not scared of a little bit of dust. I'm not scared of what we get here. It's a little bit different. It's something different, and we've had a run of the same things. Not to call it like monotonous or the same old, but this is fun. I always love going to this race, and I've only been going a few years, but every year I go back, I'm like, this is cool. And I'm going to tell you something. If you've not been to this event and you've not watched this race, yeah, I'm talking about the 410s, but I'm going to tell you something. These 4 cylinders, these front wheel drive cars, they put on a freaking show. When it comes to feature time, they are getting after it. They are side by side. It's a great race to the end. I think the last 2 years it's been a phenomenal event. Might have been the best race of the day.
Yeah.
It doesn't start that way. The way it kind of gets out there, they get going. Half of them run, half of them don't, whatever. But man, it's been a great time. So
Yeah.
I hope I can make it. hopefully I can make this thing and get to it. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, the four cylinders. I love watching these guys. They used to have the wingless sportsman for this as well. They won't be doing that this year, but yeah, I love the four cylinders at this race. And the thing is what makes the four cylinders great is that, and you're gonna hear it because it's a midday race in summertime. Although the weather doesn't look bad, like the weather looks cooler than normal. But you get like a 90, 95 degree sunny day. Yeah, it's going to blow dust. It's going to maybe take some rubber. It's just part of it. $630 to start. You know what I mean? That at least cover your tire cost partially. You know what I mean? So I don't know. So I appreciate them bumping this one up. It is the Lynn Paxton tribute race. So kind of rescheduled from the earlier in the year, which is one reason for the up purse. But let's see, who am I going to take here?
God, I hate this team. I hate it.
Yeah, I don't like my team at all.
I hate everything about it. Yeah, this is a fun one,
like
and it's
anybody
you get the fair vibes, right? It's on Monday. It's the
Yes.
holiday. It's pretty cool. It's just a great event. I enjoyed it. Yeah, last year they worked like hell to get that track in. If I do remember that that they tried like hell, and
They did a whole
Don't
track
blame 'em.
rework and everything. They waited for the sun to go down a little bit, so it ended a little bit later
Yeah.
in the day. But it was worth it. It was a decent feature, if I remember.
yeah, I think so. I still remember that front wheel drive feature being a banger. So,
Well, that's what I was going to say
if I
about the.
recall.
That's what I was going to say about the four cylinders. Is even when it does blow off and take rubber, these cars, it doesn't matter for these cars. You know what I mean? Like they still put on a hell of a show.
Yeah, and if they get rubber, these cars won't turn at all. They already don't turn, so it would probably be a problem for them. They like to get up on the banking and get the momentum. They need the momentum kind of thing. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
And then real quick, Sealands Grove, they made a schedule change. It was going to be a 2-day show for the Paul Long Memorial. It is now just Sunday, but it's $6,300 to. It's actually, if I saw last time, it's $10,000 to win. I gotta find that. Hold on. I want to make sure. But they're putting up. Yeah, it's now $10,000 to win. Let me put this over here. $10,000 to win for the super late models on Sunday. $800 to start, and then also $2,500 for the limited late models to win. So pretty cool for the super late models there. Plus the wingless sportsman, which when I was we were talking to Brett earlier today. It sounds like some people are putting up some extra money for them, possibly, which will be pretty cool. And then also the winner on Port Royal on Saturday night is an automatic qualifier for this race on Sunday. So pretty cool deal. So that's also another option for you on Sunday if you can't make the trip down to Lincoln, or if you're in the area, that'll be a good show as well. Before we get into Tusky, let's talk about High Limit and the Gold Cup. Thursday night. Corey Day wins over Brad Sweet, Brent Marks, Dylan Bloomfield, Max Mitri, Corey Eliason, Joey Kona, Tanner Carrick, Chase Randall, and Sean Becker in their qualifying night. And then on Friday night, Justin Sanders gets to win over Giovanni Scelzi, Tanner Thorson, James McFadden, Spencer Baston, Tim Kading, Cy Lynch, Tom McSelzy, Chance Grassi, and Caden Steele. Justin Sanders doing what he does out there in California. That one was really close towards the end, but he did a pretty good job there. And then the $100,000 win race didn't go very great. I know I fell asleep during it. It was way too late for me. But Corey Day gets the win, back to back, 3 times in a row champion of this race, $100,000 richer over Justin Sanders, Brad Sweet, James McFadden, Tanner Carrick, Jason Pursley, Spencer Baston, Dominic Scelzi, Joey Ancona, and Silence, your top 10. Yeah, Corey Day, man, he just owns that place. Doesn't matter if it's taking rubber, doesn't matter if it's doing whatever. But this one took a lot of rubber. You had a lot of blown tires and everything. It was not a very good race for Crown Jewel. But Corey Day's not going to complain. He's $100,000 richer.
Yeah, we all will. He won't. He's about the only one that won't probably. It sucked. Just all the time they took to get the track ready. I fell asleep too. All the time they took the track to try to get it ready, and it still did. It's just shitty. Just bad all around. What I can tell, looking at, I didn't see everybody, but the guys at Blue Tires were still not like, they were disappointed, but they weren't like throwing venom out at anybody, and they should be. So they're all playing. They're toeing the line right now of not shitting on racetracks or series or tires or whatever a whole lot. They're all kind of walking the line, but I don't know how long that'll last. I mean, that was disappointing.
I do know it was very hot and very windy there, which doesn't help. But
there you go.
You know what I mean? And they did rework. One reason why I fell asleep is because they really did. They reworked the track, I think, at least twice, from what I can remember. And so it wasn't for a lack of trying. You know what I mean? Just you get it that hot and that windy. It was hot. I mean, it was windy. You could see those everything there just blowing really bad. So that doesn't help. You know what I mean? So to put the track in a bind, shit does happen. But we also all have weather apps. We know what it's going to do. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Unfortunate for that. Brad Sweet is still your points leader, 71 points over Rico Abreu. Then it's 120 points back to Brent Marks, Tyler Courtney, and Aaron Reitz are still in your top 5 of the drivers' points due to the medical waivers, I guess, for those guys. And coming up tonight, they're at Douglas County Dirt Track, which will be starting on Flow here pretty shortly in Oregon. They had 27 cars there from what I saw, so should be a good event, quick event too. So if you're trying to get to bed at a decent time tonight, it should be a quicker event. And then you have the Skagit Nationals, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That one pays $100,000, I believe, too, right? Doesn't say. I believe it's $100,000 for that one as well.
That sounds right.
It's a big paying race. So 3-day show there at Skagit. Skagit's really pretty cool track. I would like to get there. And then they got to make the tow all the way to Port Royal so they have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They have 4 days to get to Port Royal and get ready to go for another 3 days at Port. So Billy Dietrich says can't defeat Mother Nature. Yeah, I mean, with the winds and that much heat, what are you going to do?
By the way, speaking of Billy Dietrich, he just actually said there, I'm trying to catch up on Thunder in the Mountains. I sent him a screenshot today on YouTube. The 2003 Thunder in the Mountains is on YouTube. It's 2 hours worth. They have Billy Dietrich. He won the Lincoln 358 opener that year, and you should see the interview in Victory Lane of the young Bill Dietrich. It's wild. I sent him the screenshot of his like the interview. I was like, look at this guy. Look at this guy out here. It's pretty wild. Those are great. I love watching them.
World of Outlaws real quick. On Friday night, River City Speedway in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Buddy Kofoid gets the win over David Gravel, Carson Macedo, Logan Schuchart, Emerson Axum, Mark Dobmeyer, Chris Wyndham, Donnie Schatz, Garrett Williamson, and Hunter Schoenberg, the top 10 there. And then on Saturday night, which Johnny Gibson and all the Outlaw people were blowing their loads about this one being race of the year. It was a very good race. It was a great ending. It was a very good race. Thoughts and prayers to one of our good fans, EJ. Had to see Sheldon Hansfield lose in one of the most Sheldon Hansfield ways. Actually, this is a little bit different because usually Sheldon wrecks himself out.
I was going to say, earlier EJ wrote Sheldon for President 2026 or whatever year it is. I kept thinking of he would be in the lead until 2 weeks to go and figure out a way to wreck it. He would be in the lead in the polls and figure out a way to lose. And here we are. Here we are.
Carson Macedo gets to win, getting the lead with him over Sheldon Hansfield with 2 laps to go. David Gravel third, Logan Schuchart fourth, Buddy Kofoid fifth, Bill Baylog, Donnie Schatz, Cole Macedo, Mark Dobmeyer, and Garrett Williamson, your top 10. Good win by Carson Macedo coming from 6th here. Sheldon Hansfield led 23 laps of that. It was a very good race. There was some good battles between them, David Gravel. But, it was a good, entertaining race. But, immediately Johnny Gibson goes to the race of the year for the World of Outlaws. I'm like, doesn't always have to be race of the year. It was a good race. It was a very good race. I'm not trying to slam it, but can we not have all this?
Yeah.
Is hyperbole the best word for it? I don't know. It doesn't have to be the greatest of all time all the time. You know what I mean? But it was a very good race.
There's an infamous Twitter troll / high limit hater on X, and he posted a picture that was taken, which was a great picture, but he said it's the greatest. Will go down as one of the greatest sprint car pictures of all time.
I saw this.
And I replied with, "You're right. It'll go down as a picture of all time." And the guy didn't understand it. I'm like trolling him so bad because he hates the high limit. He hates high limit so much that he'll take that and turn it into one of the greatest sprint car pictures of all time for a 10,000 to win race in North Dakota, like $12,000 to win in North Dakota. Like, oh my God, come on, man.
Nate, I know why it is hilarious too. It was a pun.
Oh, yeah, I've talked about that, Nate. What you're talking about with some people, they didn't believe me. I've seen it.
Oh, I feel bad for you.
I've seen it. It is something you will never forget.
Scarred in your brain forever. Anyway, this weekend for the World of Outlaws, they take a 2-day trip to Huset's for Labor Day here. Cool, I guess. Huset's shootout. Looking at the points, it is still David Gravel, 172 points over Buddy Kofoid. Carson Macedo, 228 points back. Logan Short, Sheldon Hansfield, Donnie Schatz, Bill Baylog, Garrett Williamson, Chris Wyndham. Jesus. Bill Baylog, Garrett Williamson, Chris Wyndham, Cole Macedo. I almost said Chris Macedo. That's your top 10 in points there. Donnie Schatz has been announced as that for their West Coast swing, which they will be going to here, I guess, after Huset's. He will be in the car Spencer Baston was just in that W, the Silva 57W or W, whatever it is now. And let's see what happens. I mean, that's pretty good for Donnie Schatz. That's a hell of a lethal combo. I mean, one of the best crew chiefs, if not the best crew chief out there, you know. And one of the greatest of all time together. Let's see what happens. It should be interesting. Enough. Yeah, I know. He yells it at the conclusion. Okay. I shouldn't have read that. That's funny. All right. Tusky 50. Let's get into our predictions here. Preview this a little bit. Each night here, Thursday night, you got 4 10s, $10,000 to win, obviously. But they will be accompanied by the top 24 in points for the 305 sprints. That'll be their last race there. Then on Friday night, the night before, limited late models, top 24 in points there will be invited on Friday night. And then, of course, Saturday, the big $58,000 to win Tuscarora 50 58th annual. Rain date is Sunday, September 7th. Let's hope we don't have to use it. Very excited for this, obviously. This is one of my favorite events of the year, if not my favorite event of the year. I guess let's do what we normally do. Let's do favorite, a dark horse, and then maybe a bust.
For just Tusky.
Just for Tusky, yes. While I try to figure out how I could screw this fantasy team up more than I already did. I'm going all
right,
homer
so,
picks. Fuck it.
This is a weird year, right? We're not going to have Brian Brown. We're not going to have Tyler Courtney. We're not going to have Aaron Reitzel.
It's true.
It's a weird, there's guys you would have a conversation for any of those three.
That's 2 of your last couple year winners right there, you know, between Reitzel and Brown.
Right. So for me, Tuscarora 50, you know, if I'm picking a favorite, I'm going to take Rico.
Defending champ.
If I'm going to take a dark horse, I'm going to take Cy Lynch.
Cy Lynch.
He's very good at Port Royal.
He is.
Low, like
he is.
quietly good at Port Royal.
And the way
And
the format is, I can't remember the format, but it's not a regular format. I think it's a total redraw.
I don't know.
I can't
every year I
remember.
feel like I go to this race and I don't know. Usually it's because I'm like either sunburnt, I've been drinking all day, don't really care, I'm worn out. I don't really ever remember. My disappointment for this one, Brad Sweet. Because he's been better at Port
He
Royal.
has been pretty good at Port Royal. But
they've been pretty good lately with this all the stuff they got going on. I'll take to me, it would have to be a disappointment, meaning you were setting the bar high and it's a guy that won't jump over it, right?
Yeah.
Won't meet it. It's Brad Sweet. No posse in any of those three for me.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go opposite of you. So my favorite is Lance DeWeese. Fuck it. Let's rip it. Let's go. Let's make it happen.
I like it.
I want to see it. Dark Horse. I was going to say Brock because I was talking about him before, but I think he's going to be my dark horse for Natty. He's been all right at Port, but he's been really good at Williams Grove. So I'm not going to go with him at Port. Yeah.
Got a time trial. Got to put himself in position.
Exactly. I don't know if Justin Whittle counts as a dark horse. But
it does. I just as you started to talk, I'm like, fuck, man, Whittle's been good.
Mm-hmm. I think at the end of the day, though, really, it's going to come between Rico and Macri. I think those are going to be the two guys to probably beat. They're probably the two favorites going in, but I'm going Lance DeWeese. I think he's going to be right there. And a bust. I don't want to say it, but maybe Brett Marks. I think he's going to have a lot of, he's been running well. Don't get me wrong, and maybe coming to Port Royal will be some, will spark some things up. But in terms of winning it, I think he'll be competitive. I think he'll be up in the top 10. I just don't know if he'll necessarily be in a factor for winning it when maybe some people would think he would be.
I mean, it's been a tough season. I think they've had a decent West Coast trip. Really, he was running third there. At
tough season, third in points and high limit. You know what I mean? Like it's not even that bad.
But it's not been that
he hasn't had that many wins. Yeah,
going on that run. He's consistently top 5 guy, but that's it, right? We expect more. All do. So, I love these picks. They're fun, and we definitely try to narrow ourselves down and like make the pick, right? Mm-hmm. But I love the Whittle dark horse pick, right? With the way he's been at Port Royal this year. I love that. I think if we're talking about, Port Royal and our guys, I think Danny's got to be in there. I think Chase Deets has to be in this conversation. But there's a lot of people we can put in this conversation of being in the top 5. But, there's 15 cars that are top 5 capable. Yeah, but only 5 of them can be top 5, right? Like,
right.
What do we got to do there? And I like the Geo, right? The Geo in the 7BC. I don't know if Geo's had like outstanding statistics at Port Royal, but that car is really, really good, and we know it.
Yep.
Justin Sanders is an interesting one. I got to tell you, I'm more than intrigued how Justin Sanders is going to do at Port Royal. Like, I'm here for it. Like, I don't have expectations, but if he can do anything like Corey Day, we've seen the show that he put on. Now, Corey Day knocked the wall down so hard he blew a tire, but if Justin Sanders can figure it out, man, he could be the show. He could be the show of the weekend, good or bad. I don't know, but like, I'm here for the entertainment factor of him in that car because we know the car will get around Port Royal.
Yeah, I'd even think of Corey Day. I mean, now that we're talking about it, there's a lot of drivers that are coming in there. Like Brian Tim sounds like he's coming in for this one.
Is Corey Day going to be in? Do we know?
I would imagine so. I don't know if
I don't know his schedule for Cup or for NASCAR because he wasn't last year, was he? He was the year before.
No, he was last year. That's when he, or was it the year before they did the 50-50 grind in 3 and 4?
I thought that was all the year before. Maybe I'm wrong. Somebody's going to have to correct me on that, but I thought he wasn't able to make it.
Is he racing trucks this week at Darlington? Would be
and
the
he
question.
did put up his schedule recently, and I don't remember.
But if he is, it would be Friday.
Matching it up.
But I mean, he's going to be a guy. I mean, he was a guy that impressed me the second he turned his first laps at Port. If you remember when he did 2 years ago make his first laps at Port, he was up front. He made some early season starts. He was really good, and then he had tires go down. He had bad luck, or he wrecked every time out. Larson won't be racing. You won't see Larson run dirt until probably after the Cup season now at this point, now that it's playoffs.
He typically playoffs he's out. He's concentrating on that. So
you probably won't see Larson until Thanksgiving, if anything. You know what I mean? Probably run some midget stuff, maybe go down the
maybe that's
Australia
it. He may not
stuff,
run
but
a full-size wing car
in
the U.S.
I doubt you see him anymore in a sprint car. Maybe a midweek thing. Maybe they give him permission to do a midweek thing, but I doubt it.
Yeah, last couple of years he has.
Let me pick my pick here. I don't even know who's left. Jacory Krosky. I'm just gonna take him because I like the name. Fuck it. Let's get to some of your picks, guys. We got to go back here. Dave Scott Smeltzer. He just put 39M, 48, 23. I'm assuming that's his favorites. Rampage says, I'm going to take whoever starts on the front row if it rubbers again. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Rico back-to-back wins, says Matt. Samuel asks, why does Port end the season after Tusky? Seems a little bit early. I'm just wondering. No, I don't think it's early. I think they run the perfect season because after Labor Day here, I mean, you get some good weather, but it starts turning into almost like spring-like weather too, where you start getting a lot more moisture and stuff. You know, it can be very hit or miss. They used to have the World of Outlaw race. It was after National Open, but they've always ended at Tusky, and maybe they would have like a one-off after or makeup after. But they always ended at Tusky, and I think that's the way to go. You end right on your biggest show. You know what I mean? And I know they're doing, they're going through, and they were saying it on the Lucas Oil broadcast about their, 5-year plan and all the stuff that they're putting into the track. So they probably need all the time that they can get to be able to do some construction and stuff there too as well. They've been doing it along the side, but probably try to get at least a good 2 months here before 2 or 3 months here before it freezes to try to get some stuff done. So I don't think that's the reason why it ends early. I'm just saying that's a plus side of them ending it so early. Brendan Zirk, favorite, Ryan Smith. Dark horse, Justin Sanders. Ryan Smith's a good one with the 69K. You always got to watch that.
Sure.
He's been very good there this year. That should be the 69K is going to be a threat. Santos, Macri as his favorite. Dark horse is Gio, and his bust is Dietz. Don't say that around Dave. He's gonna.
Oh, them's fighting words, my boy.
Fighting words.
Them's fighting words.
Hold on, I gotta make a pick here. I don't know. Man, I don't know. Screw it, Michael Pittman. Ampe, he says Reitzel's supposed to be back in by then, unless he has another setback. So maybe not Justin Sanders. Maybe it is Aaron Reitzel back. I think if Aaron, well, it'll be interesting. I don't know if that moves Reitzel in the favorite status for me yet, because it will be his first races back. But who knows? Be well rested. Samuel says his favorite is Macri Dark Horse Cam Smith. Is Cam Smith going to race there? He doesn't come to Port very often. He has a couple times, I guess, this year. Corey Payday gets his first Port win. Mitch Bodine says the 67 as a dark horse. Ampe also agrees. Justin Whittle going to be my underdog story at Port. Daniel Lee, favorite Macri, dark horse, Wagaman, and Bustas Rico. Yeah, Troy's been good there. I mean, got a win there.
And has a win.
Yeah. Good in time trials. He went quick time last time. He was there. He's going to be one to watch. And he's been, didn't he get a top 10 or so? He was up there last year. He ran pretty well. Or did he have to come out? What year did he have to come out?
One of the nights. I think he had a good night one of the nights.
Yeah.
I don't. But he would have only ran. Wait, that's this weekend. Hell, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either. Tom Rumsey says Ryan Timms for the 50.
Yeah,
Nate,
Knoxville's done for the year.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You might see some guys start coming this week already. Favorite, hate to say it, Anthony Macri. Horse because I don't see color. Chase Dietz. For Nate, those are his favorites there. I like that. Mandy, favorites, Ryan Smith and a 69K, Macri and Dietz. Dark horse, got to go at Ryan Tim since I hear showing up, I guess. Gio, Marks, Bust is Logan Wagner. Logan Wagner, he's definitely one to keep an eye on. Santos says I'm going to change my dark horse to Ryan Timms. Definitely has a ton of speed and has looked good at Port before.
Oh, right there. James Thomas Magby, the dark horse, Walter.
Yeah.
I was just in my head going, man, you know what? To me, like, listen, we like Mike. I love Mike. If Mike gets a top 10 in the Tuscarora 50, he's going to feel like he won the race.
Yeah.
And he's been good this year. I'm not taking that away from him. Winning the Tuscarora 50 is like, this guy may never race again. He may retire on the spot. But, like, getting in the race, top 10, man, he's been good, right? And good other places. A lot of he's got a win this year. Multiple second places out at Lernerville. Man, having a good year.
Justin Whittle in the chat saying hi to Amp A.
Don't say hi to us, buddy. It's okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
You're our dark horse, so let's go. Yeah, I like the Mike Walter pick as well. He's been very good there. He was good at Selinsgrove. He just got second again at Lernerville. So him just getting out, racing more, I think that's just going to help him in the end. You know what I mean? Just coming in the port, maybe, off a couple good runs here, going in. And going, we'll see what happens. You got 2 good races here with Fair Week, and you got a bunch of races here to go up to it. Friday night too will be the end of the points season, so couple shots here for Logan Wagner maybe to try to get back into the points here. But I think if Justin keeps doing what he's doing there, he should. There's 4 races though. You never know what could happen, but. Justin Whittle in control there with the points there at Port Royal. And that'll end on Friday. So hopefully that would be a hell of a weekend. Justin Whittle get a track championship and maybe a Tusky 50 win. You know how crazy that would be? That'd be awesome to see. And High Limit starting hot laps right now, if anyone wants to know. Thank you, Brandon. I think that's going to be kind of our cue probably to wrap this up.
Let's go.
Before we go, drink it, dump it. If you guys haven't played before, give us somebody that you want to give a cheers to, drink it to, and then somebody to dump it to, somebody who had a bad weekend that you want to give a shout out to. So I'm going to drink it. You want to go first? Or
No, I did last week. Go ahead.
I'll drink it to... I'm going to drink it to Brandon Shearer. Winning that
nice.
Wingless Sportsman feature. That was a hell of a race. That was awesome. And he had to hold off Tony Jackson. Tony Jackson even got around him at one point, and he was able to get it back around him. A very impressive win. I know they were jacked up. Awesome win. And then by dump it, I'll go to the weather yesterday. Let's do that.
Yeah, we'll go with that. I like it. I'm drinking it to Cam Smith. Hell of a job, beating the best of the best. Danny unfortunately had his issue there, but you had Chase Dietz, you had Anthony Macri, you had Freddie, you had Troy Wagaman. You had pumped, man. So pumped in Victory Lane. Dump it. Oh, let's see. Man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. That wreck at Williams Grove at the start of that feature, that's tough. I don't think, again, it was not great for anyone, but you're at the wrong time of the year to have torn up shit. Looks like TJ was the worst of it. Talked to Raymer Fred in the pits, Freddie's dad, and they said really the car wasn't that bad. Wings ended up not being awful, but hate to see that wreck at the beginning of that feature. It's a bad time of the year to tear up junk, tear up shit. Hopefully, and guys, not that many races left till the National Open at Williams Grove, so they're really starting to. It's time trials. They were trying to hone it in, so we'll go with that. I'll take that wreck on lap one
Yeah, that was
at Williams Grove for the
yeah.
torn up equipment.
That was tough. We got some good ones here in the chat. Randy Kopp says, drink it to Cam Smith for sure. Dave Scott Smeltzer, drink it to Cam Smith, Dan and Danny, and then dump it to JJ Loss. Santos, drink it to Cam Smith for the awesome win at Lincoln. Dump it to Freddie for having a very rough weekend. Absolutely. Honorable mention as always to you guys for another awesome episode. See you all at the track. Thank you, Santos. I appreciate this morning he was on social media already saying, I can't wait, it's Monday night, T2T. He was giving us promo before we could even get a promo out, so I appreciate that. Appreciate you drinking.
Appreciate you, Santos.
Santos.
Hey, good luck Wednesday at Flat
yeah.
Out if you're running. Good luck there.
Mini drink it to Jack Young for who got the win last week. It's our boy. Mitch Bodine says, drink it to Preston Latimus for good speed both nights. He's been looking very good. You're starting to see him I think you're starting to see him get his feet underneath him a little bit in this 410, and I think it's been a very productive rookie season for him. And he's going to be a guy to watch here in the future. Jim Tedarelli, drink it to Kyle for not junking our race car in that wreck on Saturday, and dump it to Jimmy's 2-2. I'll have to show you guys that at some point. I'm not going to upload it now, but I did have a 2-2 on. Thank you for the sportsman love. That was.
I think you're up.
Yeah, I am. Shit.
Okay, let's wrap this up. Let's get out of here. I'll see you all at the racetrack. Have a great week. Hit us up if you need anything. See you at the racetrack this weekend. Have a good one.